Hello, everybody. It is me, Joe Dub, back again with a different layout. By the way, been watching the Arc and also Skinamarink review. You noticed that the layout different. This time, we're going to be kind of doing a deep dive on one of the shows that I am been doing deep dives on our Big Trouble Archives YouTube channel. So what we're going to be doing different here on episode 4 for The Last of Us is I'm just going to go scene by scene, just kind of explaining how I feel about certain scenes and what I thought. I'm kind of going to show my hand early. And, obviously, if you've seen the episode and you love it, I am going to say that I didn't love it like you did. Now, I'm not saying this is a terrible episode, but man, what is up with TV today where literally you take more of your time showing this spectacular city, which, by the way, still love the sets, still love the city. I love the vegetation of the city, meaning, we're in a post-apocalyptic setting. I love what they did. Looks like the game. But what is with the writing lately where it's literally just nothing in the episode, and then when finally it starts to pick up, it ends? What is with the writing on that? Like, what's the screenplay? Like, they walk around, they sleep in the woods, and then they wake up, they make a few jokes. It's kind of like they're, and this is gonna sound annoying because I know a lot of people can be like, oh, you guys wanted a game, now you got the game. Yeah, but there's ways to write it where it's better and there's a lot more stuff going on. You could literally drag out season 1 of just side stuff. Now, I think there is some side stuff that they're adding. Again, I haven't played the game in years, so I might be missing some things. Like, I missed some things on the Bill situation. Like, I totally forgot about Frank was the guy that was hanging in that garage area, and then you got backstory about Frank, and then the letter with Frank and all that stuff. So I do apologize on that, but my thing still stands as far as that. But writing today is just boring. For example, I'm watching The 100 now. But the thing is, there's a lot of shit happening in The 100. There's so much plot lines that happen in TV shows. That's the reason why we have TV shows, by the way, is so that we get all these different plot lines that are happening. And if you wanted to make this Oscar worthy, so serious, oh my god, look at the daughter and father chemistry going on with Joel and Ellie. You could have done this in a movie. Like, I would have been so happy if this was a movie. It literally feels like when the episode starts, we just have them standing around doing that pun jokes and all that stuff. And I'm like, great. We're just getting dialogue that, and keep in mind, if you haven't played the game, it's literally the dialogue when you're walking from point A to point B. So usually when there's no enemies and there's nothing to interact with, and you're just walking around and the NPCs or the characters are having their conversation dialogues, that's what we're getting on each episode. We get those as the filler inside the episode until we get to the part where we get action with gunfire or the infected. So I wanted to bring that up front just so that if you're really in love with this episode and it's not going to change your mind, then this coverage right now is probably not going to be for you. But I will give my objective criticism. I won't be like this a Debbie Downer. I won't be like, that was shit, that was shit, that was shit. I won't do that. So let's get into some of the stuff here going on. So the first scene that we get is Ellie, who took the gun from Bill's house, is working on the gun. One, I have to say, she unloaded and reloaded the gun pretty well. I was quite happy about that because in the game, even though Joel will teach her later on that, how to hold the gun properly and stuff, at least she knew how to unload the gun to make sure that the gun was not loaded before she started playing around with it. Because that's one of the rules that you have is, you have a gun, make sure that it's not loaded before you pull the trigger. And she does that. The only criticism I will say is it was about a minute. A minute too long. You could have done that for 20 seconds. And then it shoots to this scene here where Joel and Ellie are pretty much talking about how to siphon gas. And they have their back and forth and stuff. Like they're starting to build the chemistry just like they do in the game, where she's like, you don't know what you're talking about, but he knows what he's doing. You know, you suck the tube and siphon the gas, but he can't scientifically tell her how that's working. Ellie, and this is the thing that we'll see throughout the episode, brings out a no pun intended book. So this is going to be me nitpicking a lot, way too much. And I know people could be like, oh, that's cute. It's a stepping stone. I get that. It's a stepping stone of, you know, trying to get on Joel's good side, because they mention it later on in the episode when they're talking about Tommy and stuff, is Tommy's family, Tessa's family, you're just cargo. They bicker about this. She tells a joke. The only thing I'll say is her delivery on these jokes. I don't know. It's just awkward. And I know puns are awkward. They're supposed to be like not really funny unless you think about the pun that's intended in the joke. But just the way she acts it and portrays it is just, so far it's weird. It doesn't feel like Ellie. And Joel, when Joel's talking, there's certain times where you see Joel written like Joel. And then there's other times where I don't know if Pedro is, I'll just say Pedro is more Pedro than Joel at sometimes on how he's acting sometimes. I don't know if he's going off the script and stuff, but at certain times it just doesn't feel like him. And then there's other times where it was. This is the part where it comes from the game, because in the game, when they're driving from Bill's place, she finds the kind of like the Playgirl magazine going on, where she finds the centerfold, and it says, oh, why is the pages stick? And she's like, I'm fucking around with you, and then throws the magazine out the window. Same thing like the game. Nothing really changed on that. Happy about that scene, but again, it just seems like building more chemistry. Nothing wrong with that. It's just that we're getting back to back to back of the jokes and stuff. So I know one person could be like, you're stupid. Fine, whatever. Just, we had all that time of them bickering about stuff when this time could have been used for other things in a TV show to have all different plots. So they decide it's getting too late. We need to go off the road. You know, they're cooking. They're pretty much going to sleep soon because they have to rest while they're traveling on the road. So they go into the woods. It's very remote. They're having Chef Boyardee, and it looks like Joel was having a steak, and they get ready for bed. She talks about a fire. Well, before they lay down, they talk about a fire, and she thinks it's about, to keep away from the infected. But Joel brings up the fact that it's not about the infected, it's about people, because sometimes people do bad things to survive, which we will get later on to the episode. That is building up. I will give them credit on that. That is building up from that scene to build up on what we're going to get later. They're talking about, are we safe from people here? And that brought up the idea that Joel's like, I don't know if we're safe out here. So he pretty much guards for the rest of the night. Now in the daylight, after you think we'll probably get to the next scene that will probably pick up to other plot lines, no, we get more, bickering. Wake up. She smells the coffee. She says the coffee smells like poo. And then Joel is, drinking the coffee. They have conversations like, oh, is that what the Starbucks is in the QZ zone? Again, bringing up the fact that it smells like crap, and she doesn't like coffee, apparently. Now, this is where they start to give you a little backstory about Tommy, because she asks about Tommy, and Joel, gives a story that before the outbreak, when he was young, he wanted to join the army, save the world. And when the outbreak happened, he joined QZ. And when he left the QZ, he joined the Fireflies, because the Fireflies were, bringing hope and about saving the world. And again, they're showing Joel that, he doesn't believe in the Firefly crap, and Tommy's just being stupid. And then he needs to save him. And then she starts to question about, like, whose family is she family? And he brings up, no, you're cargo. Tommy's family, Tessa's family. That I enjoyed that. I like that back. They get to a point where they're trying to enter the city, but it's blocked off by semi-truck. He looks around, And this is what I'm talking about, by the way. We get to this scene. It literally takes almost a minute for him to come back, say, we need to go to a different path. So they go a different route and get into the city. And right off the bat, I was like, oh man, everything is bottlenecking. I know what's coming. Because again, it happens in the game, but they do the just like the game where there's someone's playing possum or dead, say I need help, and automatically Joel pick up on that right away and says put on the seatbelt. And obviously there was a guy on the fire escape. Looks like he threw I don't know what it was, like a trash can or a propane tank. I don't know what it is. It causes Joel to crash into a laundromat, and he tells Ellie to go into the hole, pretty much giving like cover fire so that she can get in that hole to right over here in the next store. And as you can see right here, this is after Joel shoots one of them, but Joel takes out one of the guy and the other guy is helping his buddy. But they were here. The guy in the yellow jacket was right here on the right side of the truck, and then this guy was over here, and they were both shooting, and they were pretty much hitting right about here, here, and here. And that's when he gave cover fire for Ellie to go in this hole, which is right over here. Obviously, when he gets shot, he's like, "You motherfucker!" And he's like moving forward and advancing on Joel. Ellie's in the next room, right? Now, keep in mind, in the game, if I remember correctly, there's a portion or a part where Joel is being drowned like underwater. Either it was a fountain or a puddle of water, and he's being choked, and that's where Ellie comes up behind the guy and shoots him in the head. I have conflicting things about this, but it's like going back and forth in my head. I'm like, yeah, they can't like straight out copy it sometimes, but at the same time, would that change the path of how Ellie reacts later on in the game? Or she comes out of the hole, right? Oh, and before that happens, because she hears the shot, it's really loud. It was actually super loud in my headphones. But she hears the shot. That guy who was advancing on Joel dies. Joel thinks he's done with all of them, but somehow the guy who was acting like hurt in the beginning to pretty much gain Joel's attention comes up behind him with a shotgun. He hits the shotgun up. It fires, and he's choking Joel out. Ellie's right here, and the guy is choking. And in the game, she comes off to the side and like shoots him in the head. Here, she shoots him, but he's not dead. And I thought, man, why did they change that? And the next part, because right away I thought Joel was going to be like, because in the game he's really angry. He's really angry at Ellie. And keep in mind, it's the same reasoning that he has in the TV show. But then they like do a strange thing. Now, keep in mind, I know in the backstory, like Joel is not a perfect person, and he's kind of like not an angel in the post-apocalyptic world. But he like murders the kid because the kid is like pleading, I don't want to die. I can't feel my legs. Please let me live. Please let me live. Then like Joel automatically turns on like, I got to kill this guy. And he tells Ellie to go to the next room, and Ellie hears Joel stabbing him pretty much. We move on to a character, Kathleen. Now, people in the comments, by the way, if you are there, just try to refresh my memory. Was this person in the game, or are they trying to put more focus on people that we fight in the city in the game, and now they're more established characters? I don't remember Kathleen. I know the Henry and Sam that they're looking for is in the, I know that, but they're having a conversation about something about her brother, and he's a doctor. Somehow the doctor gave up her brother in some way. You know, that's how her brother got killed. And somehow the doctor got, I don't know what that's all about. And frankly, I don't know if I care enough. Maybe we're going to get more of her, obviously, because of how the episode ends. But I was kind of like, all right, this is kind of interesting, but I just don't care for this moment right now. Maybe it will build something later. So she puts the gun to the head, and then, you know, she gets called out because these guys showed up in the truck finding the dead bodies that Joel and Ellie left. And one of them was apparently still alive, but she says she has a doctor, and then one of the guys says, hey, you're not going to need the doctor, pretty much dead. This scene is where I'm conflicted, because again, I thought Joel would act like Joel in the game where he would just lose his shit, where he's just like, Ellie, you shouldn't be doing that. They kind of give him a softer tone, which I guess would agree with one of the articles that came out saying that Joel's going to be a little bit softer because he has the softer approach. And I don't think it was right to do that. And the reason I have that is I think he would be more outraged because if you're showing that emotion that, hey, you shouldn't be doing that, and she's kind of like, WTF, like, I just saved your freaking life. They kind of do this in a weird way where he's hesitant to ask her, and she asks him, aren't you grateful that I saved your life? And then he goes into the speech about like first kill, and I believe she brings up that this wasn't her first kill in this scene, and he kind of like hesitates, and then he goes down that soft route of, like, a child shouldn't be doing this, which, yes, I understand, but this has only been 2 episodes, right? I'm not counting the first episode. And the second episode is when they're truly kind of together with Tess. And then we have that break, which obviously we see them in the beginning and end of the Bill and Frank episode. And then episode 4 is when we're finally getting a true Joel and Ellie episode. And I don't think the transition of, Joel being like, I don't really care about you, you're just cargo, to this soft guy being like, oh, children. I don't know. I thought it was weird. Comment down below if you disagree with me. I want to have a discussion, and don't be like those people where it's just like downvote right away. Just tell me why. And then you can still downvote if you disagree. They're talking, right? And he gives the gun back to her. And this is what I kind of liked, by the way, because she's showing Joel, like, how do you grip the gun? And she grips the gun with one hand and, like, puts it forward. And he's like, how did you learn that? And she said, Federa. And he says, figured. And then he teaches her right by putting 2 hands on the gun for the grip. And I thought that moment was cool. I like that. That's a good chemistry moment, in my opinion. So then we transition to... By the way, this guy looks badass. I don't know who he is. I don't know if he's a new character. But they talk about Henry and Sam, which apparently they're causing havoc and stuff. And she's making it a priority to find Henry and Sam. They go in the attic. Looks like Sam was drawing some pictures and stuff. And she seems evil, but I don't know her intentions enough of why. And then they got to this part where apparently... I'm thinking this is maybe infected growing in their neighborhood now, because the guy in the beard says, hey, we need to tell our people. And then Kathleen was like, no, let's go deal with Henry and Sam first, because apparently that's a priority. So it seems like there's a grudge or revenge on Henry and Sam, which, again, maybe I need to rewatch it in order to see if I missed anything, but I just think it was just overlooked in a way, and I don't know. They find a way to go up, I think, 33 stories, and they have another moment where she makes fun of Joel being old, because he's like out of breath, and then he's like, I'm 56, mother effer, and they're about to go to sleep for the night. Joel being Joel, just like how he was in the forest. He wants to make sure that he will hear people before they come, so he puts glass on the ground by the door so that the crunch would happen. They'll know that someone's coming before they die or something, or they get held up. Then we have another moment where Joel starts to be a little again having that moment of being like, kids shouldn't be killing people. He's like, well, what happened on your first kill? She doesn't want to talk about it. I'm pretty sure it's talking about her lover that is on the DLC in the game, where eventually she did have to kill her lover because she was turning into infected. So she shuns him off right away, and then he brings up the fact that, you shouldn't have to deal with that. I believe at some point, I don't know if it's scene or when they were going up the stairs, Ellie asked Joel, are you a bad man pretty much for killing people? And he kind of brings up the fact that Joel, Tess, and Tommy had to be just like those people that were trying to do the whole possum thing and raid people as they come into the city, pretty much showing that he was doing everything to survive just like those. And she does another good moment where she brings up another pun joke about diarrhea. It runs in the genes. Get it? And I liked that they finally had a moment. And I think this pays off really well here when it should have happened here, like in the beginning or in the middle, because we're on episode 4 out of the 9 episodes that is happening in this season. So they finally fall asleep and then they wake up finding Henry and Sam pointing guns at each other. And then the episode ends. I know I'm being kind of a Debbie Downer. Again, so little is going on, and I want more things going on. Why are we taking forever to get to that moment that we just got there? We had that action, people attacking them. We have those other people that I don't know nothing about, which I'm going to know in episode 5 when I have 4 more episodes until the first season ends. I should be getting that literally after the part where, they're talking about Tommy, joining the Firefly. Like after that scene, it should cut automatically to I should be knowing their backstory. Like this is why TV shows happen, because we get more info. Instead, we're getting less info, and then we get it real whatever at the end because some person says something. Like, show it to me. Like, show me this stuff. I don't want these moments where it's like, oh, we're going to be walking around talking about pun jokes and, how people are not good people and how to hold a gun. Like, that stuff is like NPC talk that happens in the game. Where in reality, it could be like when you're walking in the game, it loads to the next part that you're going to be playing. Like, I don't want that in my TV show. I want the interaction with people. Now, that could change down the road, maybe from here on out, since now we're dealing with bad people and whatever is brewing in that little sinkhole that's about to happen. Maybe from this part, we're just full steam ahead. There's going to be a roller coaster ride, and the season finale is going to be amazing. But we're 4 episodes in, and it's just dragging, man. And I hate TV that's dragging. I really do. But I'm going to give this a firm couch. And if you're not familiar with the rating system, you have get rid of the couch, kind of like the 0 trash out of 5. And then, lower score is uncomfortable couch. Mid score is, firm couch. And then we have cloud 9. Your couch is on cloud 9, meaning that you're comfortable and it's a high rating score. I'm giving this another mid, and if I had to put a number on it, this is better than last week's episode, so I will give this a 3 out of 5, but we're still in that mid area when we should be just like the first and second episode, where it's about like a 3.5 out of 5 and a 4 out of 5, and we're not getting that. But that is my thoughts on episode 4. If you like what you saw here, make sure you hit that like button. If you're new, make sure you hit that subscribe button, and make sure you hit that bell so that you're always getting notifications. If you want more of our content, which I do other podcasts and content stuff, go to pigtroublearchives.com. We're also on Twitter, which is BTA content. And then on Facebook, we are Big Trouble Archives. But until next time, I will see you on this couch later. Peace.